Hello there. My name is Jasom Jensai. Welcome to this episode of Star Wars Duels, which is all about Jango Fett versus Boba Fett. Star Wars Duels is the series where I pretend two Star Wars characters fight and I explain what I think would happen and why by analyzing everything from their fighting style, personality, and raw power. The location for this duel will be Lesu, the capital of Ryloth. Jango Fett is an amazing bounty hunter. We know he's incredible from just the fact that Darth Tyrannus chose him as the template for the clone army. Tyrannus would not have chosen Jango if Jango wasn't very skilled. But we get more than just a reputation. We see him battle Mace Windu, Arik, and of course Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's analyze the fight with Kenobi. When Jango first sees Kenobi, he has his guns pulled out and is shooting in less than a couple of seconds. Before Kenobi can even get to him, Jango has blasted off with his jetpack. Jango shoots so well that Kenobi is forced to dodge rather than block with his lightsaber. Most blaster fire only scorches the ground, but when Jango's blast hits the ground, they cause small explosions. Jango decides to use his missile to quickly deal with the Jedi. Obi-Wan survives the missile and immediately survives the Slave One's turbo lasers, but he is disarmed. Jango sees his opponent vulnerable and moves in to attack, but he underestimated Obi-Wan. I'm not sure why he didn't just shoot him, but Obi-Wan manages to kick Jango out of the air. Obi-Wan disarms Jango and has the advantage for a few seconds before Jango headbutts him and regains the advantage. At this point, Obi-Wan tries to call his lightsaber because he knows he cannot win in hand-to-hand combat, but Jango uses his grapple wire and Obi-Wan misses his lightsaber and remains disarmed. Jango drags Obi-Wan around the landing platform for a while, but eventually Obi-Wan regains his footing and uses the grapple wire against Jango. Jango falls to the ground and his jetpack blows up. Fortunately for Jango, his blaster is nearby. Unfortunately, he only gets one shot off before Obi-Wan kicks him over the edge of the landing platform. But because of the grappling wire, Obi-Wan falls down with Jango. But Jango still has the advantage over the Jedi. Jango reveals the wrist blades and uses them to dig into the metal and stop his fall. After detaching the grapple wire that connected him to Obi-Wan, Jango uses his wrist blades to climb up the slope back to his ship. Jango thinks very quickly, but his ideas can backfire. He also likes to put pressure on his opponent until they are vulnerable, then finish them off with a quick, decisive attack. Jango has a lot of weapons in his suit. He has his armor, his jetpack, and his pair of blasters. He also has a grapple line, a flamethrower, and a pair of short blades, all on his wrists. He even has a missile attached to the top of his jetpack. He uses his jetpack and flamethrower to create space between him and his opponent. He uses his blasters, his missile, and his grapple line to put pressure on his opponent, and he likes finishing off his opponents with nothing but himself and his armor, but he would use any of his tools to get the job done if he had to. Jango is skilled, but his son has the same genetics, almost identical tools, and more experience. As a young boy, Boba's father, Jango, was killed by Mace Windu. Technically, Boba is Jango's clone, but they considered each other father and son. After Jango's death, his reputation and training provided Boba with incredible opportunities as a bounty hunter. During the Clone Wars, Boba nearly got revenge by killing Mace Windu, one of the most powerful and important Jedi in the Republic Army. Although he had the help of Aurra Sing and a pair of thugs, Boba nearly killed Mace Windu twice. This is something that the Separatists would not even try to attempt. However, the Jedi eventually tracked him down, and Aurra Sing was captured, Boba was imprisoned, and Hondo Ohnaka got his ship, Slave One. Later in the war, Boba had escaped the Republic's prison and was leading a team of highly skilled bounty hunters. During the time of the Clone Wars, Boba uses his twin blasters just like his father, but he doesn't have his Mandalorian armor yet. By the time he's an adult in A New Hope, he has his armor, his blaster, and his ship. During a mission to Quartzsite during the Clone Wars, Boba shows off his combat skills. The team of bounty hunters must protect some cargo on a train, but they are attacked by literal ninja. For most of his team, 5 or 6 ninja is all it takes to get thrown off the moving train, but Boba defeats a few dozen ninja with ease. Although Boba can defeat most ninja, one particular ninja, the leader, was able to defeat him, although that same ninja also took out 2 of the most skilled bounty hunters at once. However, in Return of the Jedi, Boba does not do very well. Luke gets a hold of his lightsaber and begins saving the day. Boba immediately decides to use his jetpack to fly right next to the young Jedi, which doesn't go so well. Boba's blaster, his main weapon, is cut in half immediately. Luke gets distracted though, and Boba has a chance to shoot his grapple line at Luke. But Luke's hands are free, so he just cuts the line. Then the skiff gets hit by a laser blast from Jabba's barge, and Boba falls to the ground. By the time he gets up, Luke is on the other skiff. Now is Boba's chance. He raises his left hand to shoot a small missile, but Boba apparently didn't see anyone but Luke, or he just ignored them. So Han accidentally hits Boba's jetpack, which flies out of control, and he falls into the Sarlacc pit. Wow, this is the famous Boba Fett. In-universe, sure, he's a good bounty hunter, but there is no way he is as skilled or respected as most fans see him. Boba is a tracker, not a warrior. That's why he doesn't have a flamethrower or twin pistols. He has a missile launcher and a rifle. Despite his actions in Return of the Jedi, which I'm sure most fans will agree are mostly a fluke, Boba has the genetics, the weapons, and the training of a great warrior. The question is, does Boba have the skills to match his father? There are only two differences in weaponry between the Fetts. Obviously, the main blasters of each are different. Jango has twin pistols, while Boba has a powerful rifle. Although both have a grapple line on their right vambrace, Boba's left vambrace has a small missile launcher, and Jango's has a flamethrower. The two bounty hunters see each other across the bridge. Boba steps forward and brings his rifle up to shoot. Jango, on the other hand, immediately realizes that he is outranged and activates his jetpack. As he flies, Jango uses his flamethrower to block Boba's sight and keep him from getting a precise shot. Before Boba can hit him, Jango flies underneath the bridge. Boba activates his jetpack as well and drops over the side of the bridge to get a shot at Jango. But Jango flies back above the bridge and comes within shooting range with his blasters. Jango pulls out his blasters and begins shooting out where Boba would have to move to get a shot off. Suddenly, Boba flies up as fast as he can and barely dodges Jango's blaster bolts. Jango lands on the ground and shoots his grapple line, which wraps around Boba's ankle. Boba activates his wrist blade and quickly cuts the wire, but in the instant Boba cut the wire, Jango launched his missile. Boba gets blasted out of the sky, but quickly gets to his feet. Jango flies into the sky and towards Boba. Boba leans forward and shoots his missile. Jango blasts out of the sky, causing a large explosion between the two warriors. Jango drops down behind Boba. As Boba turns, Jango slams his fist into Boba's helmet. As Boba staggers back, Jango kicks his feet out from under him. As Jango pulls out his guns to finish the job, Boba shoots his grapple line. Jango finds his arm strapped to his side, suddenly vulnerable. Boba rolls to a crouch and yanks on his grapple line, but Jango, thinking quickly, uses his jetpack and headbutts Boba. As Jango flies away, he uses his wrist blades to cut the grapple line. Jango lands on the ground a few meters away, as Boba raises his wrist. Boba shoots his missile, and Jango barely dodges. Jango is knocked backward onto the ground near the edge of the cliff. His jetpack is broken. If he falls, he is doomed. Boba has used both his missile, his grapple line, and he lost his gun, while Jango has lost his jetpack, his grapple line, and his momentum. As the smoke from his missile clears, Boba charges out of the smoke. Before Jango can pull out his guns, Boba attacks. Jango dodges a punch, blocks a kick, but Boba gets behind him and traps his arms in a bear hug. As Boba shoves him toward the edge, Jango breaks Boba's grip and rolls Boba over the edge. Boba falls for less than a second before flying upwards with his jetpack and uppercutting Jango right in the chin. Boba lands behind Jango, ready to try again. This time he gets a punch through and Jango staggers back to the very edge of the cliff. Suddenly Jango leaps to the side and catches onto the edge of the bridge. As he gets to his feet, Boba flies towards him. Jango doesn't have time to grab his blasters, but as Boba lands, Jango holds up his arm and shoots a jet of flames out of his flamethrower. Boba is blinded and in pain. As Boba screams in pain and staggers back, Jango dashes forward and punches Boba over the edge of the bridge. Boba is a hunter, but Jango is a warrior. So with that, that's all I have to say about that. Now, it's your turn. I would love it if you continued the conversation, so tell me in the comments. Do you agree that Jango would win? Do you think either of the Fetts wear Beskar armor? And what is your favorite legend about the Mandalorians? May the Force be with you.